Hello, and welcome back to BBC again. This morning I was doing a bit of meditating on people coming and going. People come and go from everywhere, no matter what group you're in or what place you're in, or your family, your partners, your children, your Dharma mates. I was thinking in a little more deeper way about it than I usually do, which was somewhat helpful, I think, to my mind. And then I mentioned it to Venerable Chidren, and so she asked me to share some thoughts with all of you. So what I started thinking about was noticing in my mind how anyone leaving me has always equaled abandonment. That's what it's about. And that I didn't really have a sense of someone leaving and it not being abandonment. And this morning that got very clear to me, and I started thinking about, well, what's the difference between leaving and abandonment, leaving and abandoning? And what I started noticing is, A, these are not the same. That's a very important thing to realize. In the past, I had collapsed them together and felt kind of confused. And what I started noticing this morning, well, it depends on like many things, motivation. And secondly, there's a difference between the actual leaving, the reason someone leaves, and how they leave. So these are some different parts that I just want to unpack a little bit here. So I started thinking about, well, why did this get so stuck together for myself as a young one? And my father, who was the one I was actually quite more attached to, you know how sometimes in your family you feel like you have a personality that's more like this one or more like that one. And I felt more like my father. Everyone said, you're like your father. You know, it gets fed that way. So he was the one I felt close to, and he left the most. And so I started thinking about his leaving, and I realized, when my father would leave to go to work to help us, you know, to care for us, to bring back money, to, you know, help the whole family, that was leaving. And it was leaving with care and for a reason of care. When my father would go out the door to go down to the bar, and which happened also, and would disappear for however long with the scarce family money, that was probably abandoning, or at least serving his own self-centeredness. And I just started looking at those because I've been watching how people leave. The Avian, it's quite different, you know. There's no cookie cutter way that people go from here. So this was very helpful to my mind to start thinking about and unpacking in the past everything I had put in this box called abandoning me, and then feeling very, you know, mad, sad, everything that comes with that, and starting to pick out from the box, oh, some of those were kindness. Some of those were kindnesses. You know, my father going to work to help us, people sometimes leaving a place because it's not a good kindness for them to stay to themselves or others, and not forcing themselves to do that. And then secondly, looking at how does the person leave. So when people leave with a lot of care and responsibility, and say, gee, I want all of my tasks covered, so I'll teach you how to do this, and I'll teach you how to do this, and I'll hand off that. And they leave with a sense of owning, I need to leave for my own reasons. I don't have to make you bad in order to leave. I don't have to say, I have to get out of here because there's something wrong with you. And instead say, oh, I have these reasons, I have these things that I'm working on, you're fine, I'm fine, and this is just a time of needing to leave. So I realized a lot of this insight was based on past meditations I've done on the kindness of my parents, and being able to start really looking at that through that important piece of taking steps toward the bodhicitta mind is really looking at the kindness of the parents of this life. And this is another opportunity to do that deeper. So then I thought of one last example. When I moved to the Abbey about 4 years ago, I had been in Portland for about 37 years, and some of my three of my really close friends were so angry and so hurt and labeled this as me abandoning. And that was quite hard to deal with. I had so much to do, I didn't take it on much. I just was like, I need to go, so, sorry. But then kind of wending my way through feeling some guilt and some stuff and trying to get to a place, and then I realized, thinking about it today, oh, it's the motivation again. I didn't leave in order to hurt any of my friends. I left actually because I thought, and still think, that what I'm doing here is the very best thing I can do for any friend, anywhere, anytime, this lifetime, next lifetime. And it's okay if they disagree with that, but my motivation's very clear. So I'm not labeling this abandonment, I'm labeling it leaving. So I just think hope it will be useful to you to just review, if you have any of that kind of feeling around the past or even a present day thing you're struggling with, to just start looking at, was this leaving? What was my motivation? What was the other's motivation? And see if you can find the kindness there. Okay.